Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you're new here, I'm Natalie, and in this channel I share my financial journey with all of you, and I am fully transparent with all of my numbers. So today what we're going to do is close out paycheck number 2, which I'm recording back to back. If you saw my setup, you're going to know that, but I am trying to catch up with recording. And what I typically do is that I have sort of a final draft that I write in a specific place so that I know that those are like my locked numbers and I cannot go back and kind of change my mind once the actual paycheck has come through and I started utilizing that money. I am excited to share what actually happened for the second paycheck of the month, and if you're interested, just please keep watching. As I shared in my last video, I still don't know the actual true regular paycheck amount that I will receive moving forward for paycheck number two of each month, which is technically paycheck number 1, because I keep getting bonuses or extra money added into my paychecks for different reasons really, but that is the case for me as well, as I alluded to in my last video. So I won a culture sort of award, and that again made my paycheck not be the regular amount that I will eventually find out. Hopefully in June. I don't think I'm gonna get anything else. So in June I'll definitely find out what that normal expected amount is. So this is not a true number yet. We'll see if I was close enough, but what I ended up getting was actually $3,634.45. 3,634 and 45. So I get I think the little award is like an extra like $300 and something. So with all the taxes that they take out, it is what it is. So that was that. And then I did allocate $600 from my paycheck number 1 budget for the month to paycheck number 2 because I knew that I was gonna have a lot of expenses since I was still in Florida and I was attending all of the appointments that I had scheduled, including my dog's vet appointment and whatnot. So I had that, so $600 would go in miscellaneous. So while I was in Florida, my parents and I were just chatting about like taking a family trip, specifically to Puerto Rico, because I go pretty much every year and a half, and they have gone as well, but I honestly don't remember the last time we all went as a family. So we're gonna do that, and we bought tickets, and thankfully my specific flight, I had points from my JetBlue card, so all I had to pay was $5.60, which are the taxes. So that's my round trip from Orlando to San Juan is fully paid for, but I actually booked the flights on my credit card for my parents and my brother. All of that to say that obviously I added something on my credit cards. That is an amount that I haven't paid off yet, and I'm adding that amount that I've received already, which is not the full amount, into my paycheck. And I'm gonna explain to you why as we go through it. But the $600 plus the amount that I received, which is another $641, is what I'm gonna add in my miscellaneous line item. So 600 plus 641 is 1241. Part of this comes from my paycheck and part of it comes from the money that they owed me for those flights. So in total, I have $4,875 to work with and 55 cents. And when it comes to my fixed expenses, nothing changed. Everything, oh, actually, I'm lying. Pretty much nothing changed, except I actually ended up canceling Canva right now, and it is not the 30th yet. That's actually tomorrow, so I'm not gonna get charged for it. So I actually need to go through these numbers, but everything else stayed the same. for Amazon, and then 0 for Canva. So the total fixed expenses would be $495.91 minus $14.99. It would make it $480 with 92 cents. Oof, actually, that's a lie. There's something that I forgot, and I'm not gonna have a space for it here. So I'm not gonna add it as a line item. Maybe I'll add it as a like side note. $480 is what I have after canceling Canva, but I did forget that because I still haven't paid off the Mazda off, I still needed to make a minimum payment on like the regular payment, because all of the other payments I've made throughout paycheck number 1 and things like that have been principal only payments. So I did forget that I actually did do that. So $480.92 plus $298.17, which is the regular payment, means that I spent $779.09. So I ended up increasing my fixed expenses because I did pay that. Did actually do a Mazda minimum payment. When it comes to variable expenses, for groceries, I actually did go over, which honestly, it's not surprising because I did try to eat up everything that I had in my fridge before I left, so I had a lot of replenishing to do when I came back. Then for gas and tolls, this was surprisingly actually quite a bit higher, not only because gas ended up being a lot higher than it is right now as I'm filming this, when I was going down to Florida and up. For a household, and this, of course, lots of tolls were taken while I was in Florida, so that also doesn't help. And for household, I actually ended up not spending any money here, which it's quite surprising. We'll see if that sticks for the month of June, but very happy there. For shopping, I spent $14.91 here, which, wow, I did these numbers a bit ago, and I've been filming like past videos as well. So for shopping, $14.91, that was not bad at all. Definitely will be making that up somewhere else because I already know. And then for eating out, as I mentioned in one of my previous videos, I saw my friends several times while I was there. I think I was there for like 10 days in Florida. So definitely did not budget according to what happened. So I ended up spending $227 with 44 cents while I was in Florida for the most part. And then for beauty, I ended up spending $93.75, and I know in my last video I did mention beauty being my nails and my facial, but it was actually my pedicure and my facial, which the pedicure I did before leaving for Florida, and then the 93 is actually the nails. Then for clothing, honestly, I can't even believe that this is the number I'm embarrassed about. So for clothing, it was $603 with 82 cents. I definitely had a lot of expenses here. So as I've mentioned, I went to see Bad Bunny here in Charlotte last minute. I got tickets last minute, which are accounted for in my last paycheck. And I was already going to Florida because I had purchased tickets before I decided to make the move in March, which turned out to be great. Anyways, I had tickets, so that's the main reason I went down to Florida in May. And while I was over there, I actually got the opportunity to buy some of the sneakers that he collaborates with, Adidas. So that is $100 and something, $170 with taxes and stuff like that. So that's a good chunk of it. I also did end up buying some sandals for the summer. I tend to be very casual with the shoes that I wear, so I have a lot of sneakers. Most of the time I don't buy any like artists or like singers collaborations and things like that. Bad Bunny is probably the exception there, but typically like I buy like New Balance or regular walking shoes and things like that. So yeah, that was that. I also bought like $170 worth of sandals and things like that. I have a very small foot, but I do need to wear wide shoes, so I have to take advantage of the shoes being available at the beginning of the seasons, because if not, they'll be sold out. So I buy shoes in Torrid or like the wide size in Target, things like that. So when I do see a shoe that I like, I typically do get it, because if I don't, it won't be available later on. So that was part of it. And then I did order some stuff from Old Navy as well. So definitely quite a bit of items. And then for sinking funds, I actually ended up spending quite a bit in this, even though it's going to be over budget. And from this is why I transferred $600 from paycheck number 1 as well. So my sinking funds expenses totaled $559 with 42 cents, and this included my dog's vet appointment, which ended up being close to $500 when I went. I needed to get her annual shots, get like all of her medicines refilled and things like that, so I always know it's like at least $500. Then I also did go to the doctors, and I somehow always lose my FSA card every single year, so I didn't have it with me, so I had to pay out of pocket there for my deductible, which was like $20. And I also got some stuff for Lily, like I got a leash, a new leash and stuff for her. And yeah, that was pretty much it. So $559 total, and $4 unbudgeted. So as you guys know, I had initially intended to get new brakes for my car, and I had budgeted $250 in my previous paycheck. I ended up not using that money, but because I went over budget in so many categories, as you can see here, that money kind of just like went to other places. So that was my intention. I was just gonna go get my brakes changed with the money from paycheck number 2, because I don't know anything about cars and I don't know how to fix anything. So the fact that I'm over here by myself means that I have to make sure that I keep up with my car. So when I went to do that, basically I needed to do everything else as well. So I had done my oil change at the beginning with paycheck number 1, but I got brakes changed, I got an alignment, I got the breaker fluid like taken out and replaced, and I think like I don't even know what they're called, but like I guess the rotaries for the brakes, I don't know. They did all of that, and it ended up being $936.68. So that is definitely way over budget what I thought I was gonna need. But again, this just makes me feel more at ease, and based on like my stepdad knows a lot about cars and he can like help fix a lot of things typically, but he just said like, you know, now you shouldn't have a single issue with your car. Just less than a year ago changed the battery on it. I keep up with my oil changes. I have new tires as of last year, and now all of the other items that I needed to do are done. The only thing I need to do is like replace like the filters inside the actual cabin, and then I think outside as well. I think that's the only thing I need. And then I now know that I need to get an oil change every like 3,000 miles or so. So now that I have paid off my car basically almost completely, and I have done this, I should be good for a while, though there are some cosmetic things that I want to do in my car, which I'll get into in another video once I decide to go bite the bullet on those. I did not budget for this, and I honestly didn't think it was going to be this expensive, but it definitely was. So taking into account all of those items and all of that, my total variable expenses ended up being $2,816 with 96 cents. And this is why I decided to take the extra money that my stepdad and my little brother gave me for their flights and allocate it to here. So let's see how much money I actually have left to play with. So 4,875.55 minus 779.09 minus 2016.96. That's $1,279.50. So we are obviously not going to be able to pay anything towards my student loans, which is kind of what I alluded to before. And I'm going to be able to pay the full amount. But I believe because it's been a few more days, there's been some interest accrued, and there's a few cents difference. So instead of being $11.63 with 13 cents, it's actually $11.63 with 42 cents. That means that I have a rollover of $116.08, and that means that I spent $4,759 with 47 cents. And I do want to look at what this number was supposed to be when I actually did my draft. Okay, so my balance was actually, it was $14.55 with 61 cents, what I actually had left over. So when you have this minus $298.17, it's a few dollars less than what I ended up having total. So I'm not going to be able to start paying off my student loans. I'm finally going to be able to pay off my Mazda. So I did forget to write this down. So I'm going to do that real quick. And even though this number is obviously smaller than this because I did pay the minimum, it should be basically zeroed out. And then of course for my student loans, I was not able to do that. But honestly, if I hadn't done the car maintenance on my car, it would have probably been something where I could have sent $900 to my student loans, but at the same time it would have been more like $300 from my own money because of the $600 that my brother and my stepdad gave me. So that would have definitely gone to my card if that was the case. But yeah, this is what my paycheck number 2 ended up looking like. May was just that month for me to just go wild, and honestly, the summertime is always like this for me. So I don't expect, maybe June will be a little bit quieter because I'm over here, but I'm thinking of actually going back down there at the end of the month. We'll see what life throws at me. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you guys think. If you have any questions, you guys know I'm always happy to answer anything that comes through. I'm getting closer and closer to being up to date on things. We'll see how long it takes me to edit all of these videos, but I'm trying. And anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in my next one.